Woo, woo, woo.
Ooh, okay. I see Kevin's comment there.
Hey, yeah, I was looking at that. We get stories from Fern. Once upon a time, Sonic died. The end. That's it.
Okay, looks like we are live. All right, so welcome everyone to the 59th episode of Got a Spotlight with Liaserenityrose. I'm your host, Leah, and of course, the guest for today's Q&A is Fernsstories.
Woohoo! I'm here. It's happening.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Fern?
Okay, so I am Fern Stories. My name is Fernanda, and I'm 25 years young. Yo hablo español, un peu de français. And I went to school in the United States and got my associates in IT technology. So I'm the tech girl, IRL. That's what I do with my life. And for funsies, I write Sonic fan fiction and sometimes draw that fan fiction. Let's go.
Nice. All right. Just as a disclaimer before we start, Fern will not be answering any shipping questions, just to keep that in mind. So please, ask different types of questions, not shipping questions, please.
Sorry, folks. It's just, we know how the Sonic fandom can be with shipping topics, and I just want to have a peaceful night. But, whatever makes you happy, just as long as you're kind and respectful, be happy. Ship your ship into the sunset and be free. Live.
Aw. All right, so let's get started, shall we?
Woohoo.
All right, so here's my first question for you, Fern. Tell us how you got into art. Tell us your backstory.
It all started when I was born. No, too far back, too far back. Okay, so pretty much, yeah. I've heard it said before by other artists, and I just really feel the sentiment that if you want something done, you gotta do it yourself. And sometimes, especially people that are artists and writers who write fan art, or wait, write fan fiction and draw fan art, they just have this idea that they just need to get out of their mind and express it. And so I've had this type of hyperfixation on a lot of cartoon shows since I was like 11 or 12. So it started with Transformers Animated. Um,
Mm.
I became a huge Transformers fan for at least like a decade. Like I was the Transformers girl and I was obsessed. And during that time when I was writing the fanfic on I forget the name of the application, Wattpad. I was a huge Wattpad user back in the day. And
Mm.
there's a well-known art director for Transformers Animated, Derek Wyatt. Um, Sometimes on his social media platforms, he would welcome people to submit fan art to him. He was always very active in the community, the small community of all 10 of us that still love Transformers Animated back then. Because by the time I started to engage with the show had been over like 5 or 6 years. And he would give me a lot of good tips on anatomy and stuff like that. But pretty much, other than that, it's all been self-taught, practice, practice, practice based on pure obsession. Yeah.
Nice.
Woohoo.
Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you, Fern. How did you get into the Sonic franchise?
That is a great question. How did I get here and how do I leave? Where's the door? No, just kidding. Like the amazing digital circus. I'm just stuck. But honestly, I like where I am. I've bounced around from different franchises. Like just for context, I was in, Transformers when I went to Rise of the TMNT. Just love the art style, love the story, and then that was over. I bounced into MLP right away. Huge My Little Pony fan for a quick 2 years. And I was obsessed with Fluttercord. That was what kept me in. I just love both the characters and that ship. Um, and while I was looking for, edits like music videos, AMVs, just whatever content I could find of Fluttercord, I remember specifically in my suggested YouTube videos, there was a compilation video of Sonic X moments that featured specific Son Amy moments. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm like, well, I've been really wanting to like hyperfixate on another ship. I remember specifically thinking that. And I'm like, what's so special about Sonic and Amy? I mean, it's blue boy, pink girl. I mean, it's very cliche. And then I started playing the video and I started like cracking up because I wasn't used to it. Of course, I didn't grow up with Sonic. I didn't grow up with the games or any of that. And immediately just, particularly noted like the humongous heads and the teeny, teeny, tiny bodies. It was specifically season 3 when like they were on this planet with Cosmo and Cream, and Sonic popped out of nowhere, and Amy jumps on it and is like Sonic and starts kissing his face, and he's like, "Oh my God, blah, blah." Like kids, like children, and I'm like, "Huh, that's interesting." Like this is the first time I've encountered like yes, it's a very I remember growing up with a lot of 2000 shows and immediately I thought, "Oh, this was like 2000s, like those were the tropes of back then." But it struck me that it was like Amy pursuing Sonic. And so I was like and based, with Sonic's immediate reaction, I was like, are they a thing? Like are they canon or not? And then 3000 Google searches later, I realized the intricacy of that topic, that it's not black and white. There's a lot of opinions on the matter. It's not clearly answered by Sega, and that just hooked me. I'm like, I must know. I'm gonna do everything in my power to know, like, if they are actually canon, because I believe it. And I also fell in love, of course, throughout my searches of the fan art, the fan animations, and I was starting to realize how much Sonic has influenced other media, like Steven Universe, like the references, and I'm like, and a lot of artists that I really admire were also like, "Oh yeah, they're big Sonic fans too." And I'm like, "What in the world?" And as I continue to dive deeper into the fan art and the fan fiction, just like like I said, throughout my Son Amy hyperfixation, I stumble upon the IDW comics. And also for more context, the what I think also opened the door for me to like allow myself to step in. Like I was an MLP fan back in the day, but I was like to myself, Sonic is a little too kiddish for me. Like that's the baby show for baby. And me hypocritically. Um and then because at that time my sister, my baby sister, was super obsessed with the Sonic movie, and at that time Sonic 2 had come out. So knowing nothing of Sonic, clicked on that video, scrolling through fan art, and finally landing into the IDW comics, and it's like this is my kind of content. I love, like, in that kind of same vein with Rise of the TMNT, where you have a cartoon, or like Transformers 2, a cartoon that can be for people of all ages, and also like explore worlds, explore specific characters, be fun sometimes, or be a little bit more serious. Like the variety is enormous, and I was sold by the Metal Virus arc specifically, and the Adrenaline dubs that I watched immediately as well. Um, it's just heartbreaking story, and just me thinking to myself like, I can't imagine like having this story during the pandemic is like so devastating and crushing. And I'm a huge,
Mhm.
people that know me, I love angst so much. So I'm like, this is beautiful, I can never leave, and now I've been here ever since.
Nice. Yeah, like I feel like the IDW comics are really well written,
Mhm.
and a lot of the Sonic fan base and community literally have been like saying that about the IDW. But I think it's because the reason it's written pretty well is because Sega is like keeping tabs on it, and they kind of give them like requirements of what they can and cannot write. You know?
Yeah. And
So, oh yeah,
I
go ahead.
think, no, I'm so sorry. I was just gonna add too, like, I think also more so than I think I mean, again, because at that time I wasn't too familiar with the games at all. And most people, a lot of the times, they want a story. They want to be entertained by a story. That's why so many people either try to create them or they seek them through the comics or they seek them through TV shows. People enjoy a good story, and sometimes if they feel like me, mistakenly that something's a little too kiddish or too cartoonish, they don't give it a chance. And I think the movies plus the comics is a good kind of like I always describe it as like drinking coffee. If you've never had coffee before, having just straight black brewed coffee might not be a good introduction. Um, so kind of like adding a little bit of milk, a little bit of sugar, the kind of like the modernization tactics in a way of how they diversify their media has allowed people to like explore the OG, the foundation of Sonic, like Sonic X and the games and because now that I have this knowledge, it allowed me to want to explore more of the universe, and now I love it all. It's beautiful, and I'm a fan, and I'm stuck. I'm just kidding.
I love the analogy that you used here that um yeah, like no matter your entry point, my entry point was Sonic X. So I basically learned the characters' archetypes and personalities because of that. Even though like Knuckles is like I don't know, I kind of feel like they over exaggerate his like hot temperament. Like a little bit too much in Sonic X. But
Mhm.
but it introduced me to these and introduced me to their character archetypes so easily. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay, here's like Sonic, who's cocky and arrogant, likes to toy with Eggman. Okay, he's one of those types of heroes. Gotcha. And then we have like literally Tails, who can pilot the tornado and can knows how to tinker and stuff, knows how to build things. I was like, okay, so and apparently he can rival Eggman. I'm like, okay, interesting. Um, but yeah, Sonic franchise, no matter your entry point, you're always gonna get something good, you know?
Exactly. Yes. It's
Mm,
like if you keep an open mind, an open heart, and you're gonna find a good time. That's all it is.
mhm, absolutely. Oh, okay. Here is my next question for you, Fern. Have you ever had a time where you had the visual in your head but couldn't get it down on paper?
Every single time I want to draw art, every day. How did you know? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think that a lot of it has to do with because I don't have the training, I don't have a lot of professional background. I'm very
Mm,
bare bones when it comes to my process. Like for the longest time, like little features like in Procreate that I didn't know of, but thanks to fellow artists who would pass things along to help me, I learned. But composition is very difficult for me, and even characters that I draw all the time. It's out of the blue. If I'm like I want to draw, SBO fighting, but if I don't have it laid out in my mind exactly who he's fighting, where he's fighting, what pose he's fighting in, what he's wearing, his face, like it has to be something that I'm very, very highly motivated to do.
mhm.
and then I sit down and do it and don't stop till I finish because I just get too obsessed, too locked in. But it's very hard for me to get to that point.
Mm.
Also, why I don't do commissions. It's just simply if I don't have the motivation, it ain't gonna happen. Just like physically, it ain't coming out of me. Sorry, y'all.
I mean that's fair, because you are from your perspective, you're learning, you're still improving and learning as you go, as you're like drawing.
Yeah, exactly. It's all a learning journey. You never stop learning, and it takes time. It's literally an art. And especially with even if I had a more easygoing schedule and wasn't as busy, like even then, you're not a machine. You have to give your mind and body time to rest. Because that's also something that I've learned along the journey is if you just keep going at it and at it and at it, when your energy levels are low or you just can't get the idea out, it's not going to happen. You have to give yourself time to rest, and that could either maybe be a few hours, that could be a few weeks, but you gotta give yourself that time. It's almost like a healing process, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anything that like anything that's creative in general, I've been through burnouts, man. They are not good.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can literally get burnt out, and I do exactly what you just said. Sometimes I have to like take a step back and relax, and I'm like, and don't put so much pressure on yourself to say, oh, I need to get this finished, because like you said, if you become like obsessed with like trying to get it finished and then it's not coming out on paper, it's yeah, you're definitely not going to get it out on paper properly.
Exactly. I think, every artist is different, but I just assume that the main two things that every artist needs is motivation and energy. You need both of those. You need energy, the classic stuff, do as I say, not as I do. You drink water, you go to bed, and you eat food, you eat good food. And then the motivation is like something has to inspire you very deeply to do something or else um and the motivation I also think cannot be people need to eat, people need to live, and content creation, especially in the modern age, has been such an important way for people to have a career, to earn a little bit of income in these hard times. And I don't do that. None of the work that I do, by the way, is monetized at all, ever. Especially like the slice of life stuff. That's my big channel that I've been starting where I collaborate with a lot of people throughout the community. Everyone's a volunteer, no one gets paid for anything, and none of the videos are monetized. Like even then, I was getting to a point. Sometimes I do that. I talk too much and then I lose my thought. What were we talking about? Huh?
Uh,
Well, but anyways, I think that there was a good point out of that. But all in all, it's just you need, oh yeah, motivation. I think some people also get a little obsessed with like only creating art or only creating fan fiction for the sake of attention. And I think you kind of lose quality in your work when that's your only motivation or your primary motivation. If that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, looks like I see some questions in the chat.
6, 7.
Okay,
I'll
so
go home.
I see a question by Dolius the wolf. Um, which art of yours gave you the biggest smile when you finished it? Oh.
That is a good question. Because I frown at all my art pieces. They're all garbage. Let's see. I will say, one that really is very near and dear to me are usually going to be the pieces that I do for friends and for people that, I've met throughout the community with that I love with all my heart. There's several of those pieces that I have, and One in particular, like it was just my first thought and I have it pinned. It's a poster I made for Town, which go support her, go check her out if you haven't, and all the people too who have collaborated with me in the past. But yeah, she is just someone who I met along the way of my Sonic community career, and I was just like, you know what? She has a cool OC. I'm gonna draw her OC. And I feel like when I'm motivated, like one of my biggest motivators, aside from, my hyperfixations and my hyper imagination, and I'm like, I need to make this real life, is just making something that brings a smile to someone else's face. That helps me a lot. And this one was like, her new song is coming out. I want to draw her something special, and I put a lot of work into that. So that's one piece where I'm like, the only thing I'm dissatisfied with is the logo because I drew it by hand. But other than that, the picture itself, I'm very content, and it's hard for me to get to that point with any of my pieces.
Gotcha. Nice. Oh, Vern, I DM'd you something because there's a question here, but I'm not sure if you are comfortable answering it. It's by
Gotcha.
SSJ Sonic God. I just want to be sure if you are willing to answer that question.
Yeah, I'll respond to you here in a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I just want to be sure.
Yeah, all good. Yeah. But I appreciate though the question. Like I really do. Um, yeah, I just overall topics of like drama or discourse or and shipping sometimes a lot of the time comes with that. Or is maybe not directly correlated, but a lot of my personal experiences online just so I'm just like, let's just have fun. Woohoo.
Mhm. Yeah, unfortunately, SSJ Sonic God, Vern will not be answering your question, so just letting you know. Um, we'll go down to, I think I just saw a question by Kevin. What is the process like for your drawing from start to finish, and which aspect of your artwork gives you the most challenge? Ooh,
Um,
Kevin be asking the million-dollar questions here.
you want to know my secrets? Fine. I'll give you my secrets. First, I cry. No, I sit in the corner and cry. Blood, sweat, and tears. That's the process. Okay. So first, I'm very happy to share. Um, I try to be very organized with the way I draw and pretty simple just because like I said, it's very hard for me to get motivated to do anything anyway. So I just keep it simple so I don't overwhelm myself. Because especially I'm the type of person, like back in the day in school, you would write an essay and you start with really nice handwriting, and then towards the end of the essay, it's just like the messiest handwriting ever. That is how I'm trying to get better at that, but that's how I draw.
Mm.
Um, so like in the beginning, what's really what I do is I open a canvas in Procreate to the settings of my desire. Then I just start sketching. Usually I'll have lots of references on my other devices. Um, before before we had a nicer split view on iPad, and then Apple ruined it. But that's another discussion. Um, and then yeah, and typically my references will be 3D models that I get from like I think Sketch Labs is the website, or because I don't know anything about 3D models and it's the simplest way I can use references, or I look at like IDW panels, or I do art studies of fellow artists too, to see how like, the anatomy, how they draw anatomy. And once, because I really struggle at just drawing something if I don't have it very clearly in my mind, I think like most people. Um, and I heard an IDW cover artist, I can't remember their name, but they gave that good advice, like get your references, get your pictures so that you can have it very clearly in your mind what you need to draw. Um, and then I just sketch, sketch, sketch. It's usually super messy. And then on a new layer, I clean it up with a cleaner sketch of exactly how I want the composition to look. and then I start doing the actual line art. And then depending how quickly I want to color it, either I just make a duplicate layer of the final line art and just mass fill, and then add some highlights over that. Or I want to do it the real way, the hard way, the cleaner way. Then I make my base colors and, just kind of stack in different layers. I should do a tutorial one of these days of how I draw, but that is my basic. As long as Procreate doesn't crash.
I know, right? It's kind of like art program. Please don't crash on me.
Exactly. No, and that's unfortunate. My iPad is running like it's at its seventh year of life. It's an iPad Pro, so it's meant to last this long. But I know any day now, if you guys don't see any art from me anymore, that's probably why. Womp.
Oh. Oh, okay. This is an interesting question from Lucius Neckrouge. Vern, you mentioned you've seen the comics, but have you played the video games? Do you have a favorite?
Sonic Forces. Let's go. Does anyone have a problem with that, chat? You want to go?
I'm very curious, like what is it about like Sonic Forces did you enjoy about it?
I know, Z-Man, if you're watching. Uh, so Sonic Forces was my first Sonic game ever. And I know
Mm.
people complain a lot about that game. I think it's mostly for jokes. But honestly, like for that to be my first Sonic game and know nothing about Sonic and not even be a gamer, like I really did enjoy myself like a lot. And I love stories. So I love the idea, like it was just so intriguing to me as like me, I can be part of the story. Like that alone was like gold to me. Like
Mhm.
I respect everyone's opinion on the matter and their taste, right? But like I said,
Mhm.
like just please understand. So it definitely holds a special place in my heart. And I that game I ended up finishing in like an hour at
Yeah.
most. I don't know. I mean, for someone who's like I said never played the games, like that's not bad, but definitely my favorite Sonic game so far is definitely Sonic X Shadow Generations because I'm a huge Shadow the Hedgehog fan. Um,
Mm.
I refuse to buy any Sonic merch that isn't Shadow.
I mean, yeah, like like obviously I think, the pro aspect is that you get to make your OC. Like obviously it's very limited, they don't have like everything, but at least you can like customize your OC, you know, um and everything. So at least that's one of the pros of Forces. Like you said, you're like, what? I get to be part of the story?
hmm And
You-
honestly, the effects were kind of cool to me. Like I was wearing my Beats headphones as I was playing, and those were brand new. So it was like just like a sensory overload, like when Infinite would come on screen and you hear like do 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 do, and I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna die.
Aw.
Yeah. He was a
Oh,
bully too. He got bullied and he started bullying everyone. Because I remember, like, he would talk to my OC. He's like, "You're pathetic. You're worth nothing." I'm like, "Dude, who hurt you?"
it's kind of like it's kind of like the MCU. Like have you seen like Avengers Endgame, Fern?
Yes. Ah, I love
Oh,
Marvel.
because there's like this moment where like you see Wanda, right? She confronts Thanos. You took
Huh?
everything from me. I don't even know who you are. And I kind of feel like that shadow in Infinite.
So I don't even know who you are.
Like
Uh,
it gives me same energy vibes, right? Because when you play the Shadow DLC, which is like much shorter than the actual base game, like literally like Shadow's like, I don't even know who you are. I'm just like, yeah, that's Thanos right there.
literally.
Um, but I'm very curious, Fern. Have you listened to all of the Chaotic Case Files audio drama? I just want to be sure before before I
Oh
ask my
yeah.
question.
No,
Um,
no, yeah, absolutely. Chaotic. Other than Shadow, Chaotix. And obviously Tangle and IDW characters, they're like the most important thing to me in regards to the Sonic community. Sonic's fine, like he's whatever, I can give or take, but no, but Chaotix, they're everything to me. So I watched them, yes, every single episode, the day they came out, the moment they came out.
Okay. My question regarding the Chaotix case files, what did you think of like the writing overall for that audio drama?
Peak, absolute cinema, 10 out of 10. It was so good. It was so great. Um, yeah, I have no complaints. Like it was an awesome story. I especially loved um how well like I could feel like this was just like a huge hug to Chaotix fans and to like Sonic fans because I feel like they took a lot of inspiration from fan material, fan headcanon. Um and tossed in a little bit more new things like exploring more of like Charmy and Vector and SBO's like insecurities, angst, ah, and of course Tangle and Whisper. Oh my goodness. It's like what more could you ask? The moment they stepped onto the audio drum, like this is the best thing Sega's ever created. There nothing could defeat it. Like this is it, guys. This is Endgame.
Oh my gosh, I was yeah, like Sonic fans, we were like eating when that audio drama was like releasing every Tuesday.
My first thought when that came out was because I remember I wasn't gonna stay up for it, but the Game Awards, I'm like, well, everyone else is staying up for it, and I'm not doing anything, so I'm gonna stay up for it too. And I was cracking up when nothing got released, and people were like, we're getting nothing, and then everyone was like, just wait. And then a few weeks later, we got the Chaotix case file, which is the best thing that Sega ever produced. Sega, please, please. Anyways,
Yeah. Like I'm very curious, what was like what did you think of the way they wrote Infinite in the audio drama?
it felt very Sonic Forces-esque. Like it like they just like pulled him out of the game. Like we were still in like Sonic Forces times, and it was like, oh, he's back. I saw a meme that of course the fan art was beautiful. Like it was so awesome. To help visualize like the impact of that battle. I at first I was like, wow, like this powerful villain got pulled in for a Chaotix case. Like it was just kind of like the power scale is like, oh man, they're gonna die. But it was also like so cool, like that they got that moment. They got Tangle and Whisper's voices revealed, and they got Infinite. So it was just really special. I mean, but no complaints on how they wrote and the voice acting, of course, superb.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Like I was like when I think when they were coming out, I was like, and then they mentioned Infinite. I'm like, okay. I was like, the writing is really fantastic in this. I'm like, please, please do not make him sound like when he was in Forces. And
I
then
am not weak.
because because the thing is, Infinite got treated really badly in terms of writing in Forces,
Hmm.
so that's why I was like a little bit worried. And then when I heard, the writing, I'm like, okay, okay, I was like, okay, you redeemed Infinite on this. Okay, thank you.
Like applause to the writers. They cooked so well, and everything. Yeah, and then Rebecca Sugar, like the score, like ah, I can't. It was so good. No
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah, like I love the fact that they brought Rebecca Sugar onto this.
Hmm.
Because like I love her music from Steven Universe. Like every song in that show is fantastic. So when
Absolutely.
and then when the credits came out and they said Rebecca Sugar wrote, like, I'm like, wait a minute, she wrote this song. No wonder this is such a banger.
It it unlocked like this childhood desire of mine of like always wanting like Rebecca Sugar to collab with one of my favorite franchises at the time. And so when that happened, it was just I had to step back. I'm like, this cannot be real. Sega does love us.
Yeah, for sure.
So good.
Oh, this is an interesting question in the chat. By Mr. Joelstar. Fern, what was the defining moment where SBO and Tangle became your favorite characters?
Excellent question. So individually, of course, Tangle specifically, the moment she was introduced in the comics when I met her, I instantly was absolutely in love with her character. I feel she was in that time too, she was so relatable because it felt like just like how I felt like I was just barely starting to get to know the Sonic lore and the Sonic fandom. Everything was so new to me. And in her introduction, she kind of first meets Sonic and Blaze. And Sonic is literally just saying, "Oh yeah, this is my friend Blaze. She's, from a whole nother dimension. And she's like, a wielder of the powerful soul emeralds or whatever, and she's a princess." And then she's like, "What? What is that?" Sure, man. Yeah. And she's just like excited to be there and be part of the story and be part of the team, and so positive and bubbly. And I'm like, I resonated with that because that's who I strive to be, like just like a force of this sunshine in people's lives, whether they want it or not. And if they
Mhm.
don't, then I'm just gonna be like, rah. But anyways, um yeah, I mean that at least on Tangle's side, and also Lemur. She's a lemur. It's so
Mhm.
cute. It's
Mhm.
there's not a lot of like well-known lemur characters other than like King Julian, I feel.
I think the lemur I grew up with was Zaboomafoo.
Oh, oh,
Like like Zaboomafoo, I grew up with that. Yeah, it kind of just reveals how old I am, but that I'm a
peak,
really old person. But I
peak,
grew up with Zaboomafoo. If you know, that's also a lemur.
peak cinema, literally. So I think like everyone already has like really like positive like memories of another like lemur character, so it's like already endearing in a way.
Hmm.
And she's just an incredibly endearing character, and of course her arc with Whisper, that's so touching.
Hmm.
um like she's inexperienced and she's just trying her best to help, but she's not incompetent. She has um a good head on her shoulder that guides her through life, and she doesn't let the negative situations bring her down or change who she is, or even when people may think that she's too much, but she
Hmm.
keeps pressing forward. And then Espio, I feel, is like um a nerd, a weeb. Who said that? It was Daniel Barnes. He's like, Espio's a weeb. And I'm like, you could not have described his character better. No, I'm just kidding. But he's like the character that no one takes seriously. Um,
Hmm.
but he's super capable and super competent. He's just quiet and reserved, and he can get stuff done. And so I just thought like I always like also like the quiet types. I really, really
Hmm.
like the quiet type characters, and I just thought he was cool. He was so cool. So,
Hmm.
and then of course I stumbled upon Pocket Scrib's art, and I'm like, what? Like, I would have never thought these guys would become like a pair or good friends. Like, it's so random to me. And I'm like, oh wait, like there was no notion beforehand of me like having them be good friends or being paired up together. Like, I just love their characters so much individually. Outside of Shadow, they were my favorites. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I know their characters well enough to know how they could interact with each other, and I love that idea. Let's go.
Hmm. Yeah, like I especially love the way SBO they showed his insecurities in the Chaotix case files.
Mhm.
Um so I think, the way they did that was just phenomenal because all three of them have like their own personal insecurities, and I love how they tap into that because we don't really see that as much, but the Chaotix case files like really gives us that.
Exactly. Yes. And I think a lot of it has to do with yeah, like just having different writers, different ways of storytelling. Because I feel like in the traditional Sonic way of writing, especially like characters like Shadow, it's a very, very tight um way of writing that there are certain aspects of, I guess, like the chaotics, certain weaknesses, like he's almost not allowed to display. And sometimes Sonic, in a way, to an extent, I mean, he's not even allowed to cry.
Hmm.
Which, there's a, I think there's a time and place for all different types of writing. That's the beauty also of fan fiction, that you can explore different ways that's different from canon, but with characters that are not as, like tightly enforced like the chaotics, it's just it, allowing people to see that exploration of different ways to explain Sonic characters, like showing their weaknesses, showing their insecurities, and how they overcome those obstacles is always so fun to see.
Hmm. Absolutely. Oh, okay. I see another question in the chat. They go by us. What's the thing you enjoy most about your art?
Wow, that's a big question. I'm supposed to like my own art? What? Huh? Um, yeah, it's like being done with it and going to bed because I haven't stayed up until like 2 a.m. doing it. No. Um, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I mean, like I said, I don't do what I do. I do everything that I do is because I want to do it, and I love doing what I do. I never want it to be like, for like I said, it's just my own little pet peeve of mine. Like I'm really bothered by people that really just focus in on like I need like a million followers and I need in order to give myself worth to my own art. But not gonna lie, there I understand too that there is a satisfaction, like a sort of validation when you feel seen, like someone can experience the joy that you're having with you. And so um it's fun sometimes, like to have those interactions with mutuals or with friends or Sonic fans. And when well, like, especially like when I post memes, it's just funny, like I'm entertained. So I guess in a way, yeah, it's just looking back and seeing how my art affects people, especially when it brings them joy. That's always fun to see. Yeah, because I find joy in it, and so yeah, fun times.
Mhm. Oh, this is an interesting question by Afton G-08Z. How are you so spot on with your characters in your art to the point that they feel straight from the comics? That's a great question.
And that is highly offensive to the artists that actually know how to draw. I'm just kidding. Wow, I appreciate that enormous compliment. Thank you so much. It was very undeserved, but yeah, because like I said, I have this mentality like I want what I make to look and feel like you're looking or reading something that's coming from the Sonic team from Sega. I really struggle to develop my own art style, but I try to be as spot on to the models as I possibly can, and so that is always just in the back of my mind while I'm doing art, and it has been since the start. Like that's why I got all those interactions with Derek Wyatt in the past, and his help is because I wanted to learn how to draw the Transformers animated cast as they do, so that I could replicate that and make my own stories and make them feel more real. And that just doesn't just have to do with like the art style to me. That also has to do with the writing, hence the storyteller. It's a balance of the visual and the writing. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I just kind of rambled there. My bad.
Oh no, you're all good. Oh, okay. here is my next question for you, Fern. What advice can you give to aspiring artists who want to get into doing art?
Drink water. No, go to bed on time. Eat your vegetables. No. I yeah, honestly, I was thinking about that before. I was looking forward to answering that, and I kind of mentioned bits and pieces of it before. But again, biggest thing, and I kind of mentioned it already, like I said, you have to be doing what you do, even if it's like one art piece or one fan fiction, you have to have a great desire to do it. If
Mhm.
you don't have it, um, it can develop over time. It could be that you're tired or something, like sometimes when I write fan fiction, like I know what I want to write about, but I struggle to actually formulate the plan. But give yourself time to be inspired. And once you have that inspiration, just draw, just keep drawing, keep practicing. And don't focus so much on comparing yourself to what other people are doing.
Mhm.
Don't compare yourself like, oh, I'm not drawing as good as this other Sonic artist, or I'm not drawing like this, like that. That don't matter. That don't matter.
Mhm.
Just draw what you want to draw. And if you're happy drawing what you do, it's beautiful. You're having fun. That's all that matters. And again, just practice. Keep practicing. And
Yeah.
give yourself time to rest too as you practice. That's a key thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you on all those points. Like, especially the one, like, do not ever compare yourself to like those popular Sonic fan artists, that you follow on social media. Because remember, when they first started, they probably weren't that good with drawing the characters either, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind. Like, don't compare to what somebody else is doing, because it's like like we all have our specific journey, of how we improve over time. Like even me, like I'm still learning how to do poses, with fingers and 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 making sure they look at least accurate. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely tough. Like but and as Fern said, do not compare yourself to other, because they were probably in that same position too when they were like following like other Sonic fan artists. Or like, how do I get good? It's like you just got to keep practicing. It's pretty much anything that you do. Like, in order to get good at anything, you got to practice. Same with like doing sports. Like, oh, you want to get good at soccer? That's why they have all those practice, right?
Yeah.
So
And also, you do need to learn from other people. So it's not a bad thing to do art studies of other people's. Um, so it's not necessarily like copying exactly, or like tracing, but and we all start from somewhere too. When I started, I mean, like I said, way, way back in the day, I would start like by literally like, like we did as kids, like tracing. I just wouldn't, like I say that it's mine or anything, but also it's so like I did with Derek is I reached out to people who are professionals or not even just professionals who maybe you admire, you trust, good friends, and be like, hey, what do you think I can improve? Because really, you can't improve unless you talk to somebody, to give you constructive feedback. Um, because if you're just looking at, from your own eyes, sometimes you don't see the mistakes, or sometimes you don't see what you could improve on. Maybe you don't even know where to start.
Mm,
Um, and sometimes if you feel, that you're reaching out to people and they're not really answering, it's also just, take your time with it. Just try your best and just keep being a good person. Be a chill person online, and then people will respect that, and they'll be more open to reaching out to you, because that's another thing. There was a lot of people throughout my Sonic career that I wanted to reach out to for advice and stuff like that, but I didn't want to just like keep pinging and pinging and pinging them, like
yeah.
you keep a balance with that. It's like, yeah, it's okay to reach out, and it's okay, but
Mhm.
just keep it chill, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like, I think when I was pursuing my bachelor's degree in uni, I think especially like all my art classes, like especially my typography class, we actually always had to do like we always had like these critique. before we actually got to work on more concepts and all that. And it's really always good because sometimes when you're staring into your piece for a long time, it's like Fern said, sometimes you won't catch it, but if you have like fresh eyes on your piece, they can immediately notice it you know because I've had times where when I did those critiques, sometimes my classmates would like point stuff out that I'm like, oh snap, and then I look at it just at the thing of what I can improve. I'm just like, thank you, and I said I appreciate it, because like I told them I was looking at like a few hours at this just to see if there's something off, and having fresh eyes is always good you
Yeah.
know
Also, flip your canvases. Always flip the canvas. Do it. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes uh, you do your best. I think it's always so good to read, like you said, peer review, have your
Mhm.
references, practice, 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 flipping the canvas. But also, like sometimes what I love to do is just taking the time to, like, especially with my writing, is I just leave it, probably leave it for a good week or two. The longer you leave it and then you come back to it, the more you can improve on it. Um, so that could work too with art. I just don't have the discipline. I need to be more disciplined and slow it down, but I'm just like, go, 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 go. I must finish.
Oh, ooh, okay. I see. Oh yeah. Um, I know you did touch upon, yeah, we did touch upon this earlier, but Lombax Bauer asked, were you excited about Tangle teaming up with the Chaotix in the Chaotix case files? And they said your Tangle fan art is cute.
Yeah, I was excited. I was screaming all day. I could not focus on anything that day. I was just like, it's real. She's real, guys. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, because I remember when I announced that I got Ashlyn for a Q&A, you were the first to say
I was,
yay.
it's like everything about Tangle. She could have not have had a better voice actress. I'm over the moon, and I was so bummed that I didn't get to be there live because of work. Boo. But still amazing, amazing, amazing.
hmm Yeah, like I'm gonna let you all in on a little secret. When I did that Q&A with Ashlyn, someone pointed out, isn't it ironic that the Q&A with Ashlyn is like literally on the final day of the Tangle and Whisper Festival for Crossworlds? Yeah, Ashlyn told me, yeah, that was on purpose.
Yeah,
She literally told me that was deliberate and on purpose to do
let's
on that specific date. Just let you all know.
And that literally that could not have been more perfect because I know everyone. I had like a million questions. I'm like, and she, like I said, she answered all of them so perfectly. I'm like, who is she? Like, how does she feel about the character? Like, what was her experience and everything? It was just like way more than could have asked for. And so it's such an amazing opportunity you have, Leah. That's so awesome to have. That's literally so great.
Absolutely. Like, I'm very curious, Fern, when you did watch back the stream that I did, were you like, oh my gosh, she gets Tangle's character so well?
Mm-hmm. Like my favorite moment of that stream was when she was talking about like now when I go to the store and when I'm like living life, it's like what would Tangle do? And I'm like, yes, because she's such a real like it's even though she's not real, like oh my, it's so easy to imagine what kind of person she is, and you just love her. You just love her to death. And
Mhm.
that's why, as I've always said, that I'm basically Sega. I'm Mr. Sega, by the way, everybody. So we're canceling Sonic, and we're turning the franchise into Tangle the Lemur, and there's going to be no more Sonic, and that's that.
Oh. Yeah, like I think, doing that Q&A with Ashlyn, like she really understood the Tangle's character. I think when she was explaining it, she's like Tangle is not trying to force you to be her friend. She just wants to be nice to everyone. And I'm like, ooh, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she gets Tangle's character so well.
Exactly. Like even like one of the things I love about Tangle is, and something I think Espio does a lot too, but mainly Tangle, it's her whole thing is she embraces who she is and loves who she is no matter
Mhm.
what. But at the
Mhm.
same time, she keeps a balance, right? Like she's so considerate of other people's feelings and what they need. So she's willing to tone it down. Like sometimes with when Whisper is getting maybe a little overstimulated or,
Mhm.
needs a little bit more calmness. She'll tone it down, but it's never to a point where, like Whisper is saying, "Hey, I need you to go." And she's like, "I'm not going anywhere." Like, yeah, I know you need your space and you need your time to mourn, but you're not kicking me out of here. Like, there's nothing you can do to change my mind. And that's just so her. She's just being herself, like to a balanced degree. And she's golden. She's the best character ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I love how you describe that aspect where it's like, because if she's too positive all the time, it might come off as like overcompensating. And like you said, we do need to strike a balance of that. Like, there's nothing wrong with being positive, and being motivational, giving all the support, but just make sure that you don't do it too much. you know
Exactly. Yes. And she never feels like, to the person who doesn't want to understand her, she's too much. But to the people who appreciate what at the heart of it is, and she's so genuine with what she's trying to do, of what her desire is just to help, then it's not too much. It's just perfect.
Absolutely. Oh, this is an interesting question from Sweet Tea Leaf 08. How would you feel if Sega actually leaned into the Espingal dynamic at one point? Interesting question.
Hee hee. Well, I would absolutely hate the idea, wink wink. Um, that's a false statement. I've lied to you all. So, I mean, of course, like the biggest thing I will say, just touching a little bit on the subject, like I've always been very open about it that for me, and obviously we know with Sega's mandates, they're never gonna make two characters that are not in a previous relationship. They'll tease it because, that's the fan base. We love love, and that's a good thing. And I definitely wouldn't mind them leaning into them having an awesome friendship, a really close bond. Um, like they always do with the characters, that just they keep it friendly, they keep it close. They just keep it fun. And so I know one big thing, I don't know if you know this, Leah, or if you saw this, but um AIPT, they do interviews with the editors of IDW. And they take fan
Oh,
questions, and I could send you the Google Doc too if you ever want to send one.
oh,
And
interesting. I did not know about this.
yes, it's so cool. And I submitted my questions probably like months ago, and I forgot about it. It was a Sonic and Amy question about what exactly is their canon dynamic according to Sega, which was answered by another Sonic fan. And then another Sonic fan had asked that, and they already answered that. And then my other question, of course, because I just had to, I was like, could we have an Espio and Tangle dynamic one someday? I mean, I think everyone wants to see not even just them, but just in general, like the characters to switch it up. And the IDW universe is a great way. We have like Knuckles and Blaze teaming up at one point and things like that. And
hmm
then from there, that actually ended up being almost like the title of like the whole interview of like those questions. It was like the Sonic IDW editorials tease a potential new dynamic for SBO and Tangle. And they're talking about like that would be they think it would be a really fun dynamic. It would be really fun to do. But of course, with the Sonic characters, a lot of their identity is based on their teams, right? So, like the Chaotix, of course, Espio's needs to stay with the Chaotix, and Tangle, she needs to stay with Whisper and the Diamond Cutters. So it's just really hard sometimes to like break the characters apart. Um, because they have to have like a special circumstance. Like for example, Metal Virus. That was a good opportunity to see characters that usually never interact because they were forced to interact. So basically, the point of that is given a situation where they could work together, it seems like they're very open to it and they love the idea. Even if it never happens, just the fact that they answered my question and they spoke so positively about like, yeah, that would be super cool and that would be fun to see and we would love to do it one day. Literally, I can die in peace. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, very, very nice.
Yes. But yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Oh, okay. Here is my next question for you, Fern. What have you learned about, creating art throughout your journey of improving as an artist so far?
I have learned my biggest thing that I always say to myself, if you did it once, you can do it again. And basically, what that means is sometimes maybe it's a small thing, you get very stuck on like maybe like a specific line that you're trying to draw or like you're trying to line a sketch and you just don't want to redo the sketch because you're afraid like this is the best that I can get it at. I won't be able to recreate this. You can, because if you did it once, you can do it again. And that also applies
Hmm.
the negative way. If you were able to fail in some way, you can definitely do it again. So it's a motivator to, keep doing your best.
Hmm.
And also even for big things, because sometimes I hold myself back from releasing projects or like especially like with my comics. I have these ideas and I really, really want to like just do them. I don't care about really like the art quality. Like I know what I can do, but I just don't have the time and I just don't let anything hold me back. Like there's a balance to it. I need to be patient with myself and cook properly sometimes. But there's also nothing wrong with like, for example, I say to myself, I really, really want to submit these stories to Sonic IDW or to like Sonic Team because I feel like they could really use these stories if they really wanted to. Not that it would ever happen, but it is a thought that's crossed in my mind. And I'm like, you know what? This is a really fun idea, and if I was able to make this once, I can do it again. So I don't let what other people think stop me from doing what I love and being happy. So I guess that's just that. That's how you keep going.
Hmm. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Wait. I believe I did see. Oh, okay. This is an interesting question. Another question from Sweet Tea Leaf 08. Um, what's your opinion on Styx the Badger? How would she interact with Tangle?
Oh my goodness. I love Styx the Badger. She is awesome. I loved her since I met her in Sonic Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Because I've mentioned this to other mutuals before. We definitely lack a lot of really like crazy characters other than like Charmy. And I mean, Tangle can be very outgoing and full of energy, but she's not really like, like super crazy. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and and Styx has this like she's in her own path in life and
Mm-hmm.
I just love her confidence and who she again a character who is fully herself no matter what people think no matter what people try to judge her for and she's happy so I just love her and we need more Sonic characters with some spice. As for her interacting with Tangle, I'm sure they would get themselves into a lot of um trouble.
hmm
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think what's interesting, because when I think when I talked to Bill Freiberger, he's one of the writers of Sonic Boom, he literally said like the way he wrote Styx is like is a reflection of himself as a person.
No, I love
So
it.
so it's so interesting, right? Because like when you hear Styx say these outlandish stuff in the Boom TV show, you're just like, wow, this is Bill Freiberger.
Yep.
Which is really wild.
Absolutely. And I love that because yeah, we have a lot of calm and collected heroes. Like even Sonic to a degree, like he's fun and free spirited of anything, but like just someone who just like completely like walks into a room and like changes the entire energy. Like
Mm,
there's not many characters at all. Like it's like there's pieces to a puzzle and then you have like a completely different piece entirely of like a completely different board game.
mhm.
But that sticks, and I love what she brings to the room.
Mm,
I just hope too that if we do have her in like a modern setting, that they keep that they keep
yeah.
her, and I'm sure they will. But yeah, don't tone it down. Like keep it up, keep up that energy.
Mhm. Ooh, okay. I'm seeing questions in the chat again. So the next question, SSJ Sonic God. How have your experiences with collaborations been? Like with Scribs, Lorenzo Hall, May Town, and your team with Slice of Life, Espingle, Q&A. Do they feel intimidating, exciting?
That is an
Interesting question.
Yes, I was hoping I would get to talk about this because, again, one of the, I would say, greatest undeserved privileges, like right now, is as an excellent example, getting to collaborate and interact with such awesome human beings that also love Sonic. Like, not just the fact that a lot of these individuals, like Leah, have an amazing talent for what they love to do, but they are also like just incredible human beings at heart, and just like an enormous joy to be around. It leaves me speechless. It leaves me like very like wow, like I can't believe this is real. And like
Mhm.
people like the ones that they mentioned, Scribs, of course, someone I always highly admired for literally creating the number one thing I love in the whole wide world when it comes to Sonic. Lorenzo Hall being an IDW writer. Like, I don't even know how that came about. I think one day, I just started following him and he followed me back and then he opened like, hey, whoever wants to collab on anything, reach out to me, and then the rest is history. And same like with May Town, she put out a post saying like, I really want to dub Amy in fan art. Please send me stuff. And I'm like, would you want to? No pressure. Um, and she's like, yes. And so, and the opportunities haven't stopped rolling. Like, because my thing is like, what's the worst thing? And Leah, the worst they can say is no, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you
hmm
keep it chill, and there's no harm in asking. And as long as you keep it chill, and so that's what I've done. And yeah, there's a lot more to come of awesome people that I've been able to collaborate with, which I'm so excited to show you guys. But yeah, it's it's intimidating at first, but after that it's like we're best friends now. Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like if the opportunity presents itself, you gotta just take that opportunity. Like you said with Lorenzo Hall, he literally just put like a post of like, hey, if you want to collaborate, he's showing that he's open. He's open to the idea. And then same with May Town. Like she literally put out a post and you're like, you know what? Let's like, if they are showing interest in wanting to collab, just take your chance.
Exactly. And again, like sometimes the invitation will just be there and you again, as always, sometimes you get excited and because I've experienced this a lot. Um and again, it's I never see it badly because I know people are just genuinely really excited and I know how hard it is to reach out anyway. But again, just keeping it chill, just A lot of times I'm like, hey, like I know you're a busy person, but you're someone, that and genuinely like it's not something that I repeat to person, Like if like
Mhm.
in this circumstance where I plan on reaching out, I'm like, but here's this that I would love to do, and no worries if you can or if you don't want to, all is good. Just keeping it mature, keeping it chill.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of the same with when I reach out and get special guests on my podcast. It's kind of like a mix of being professional and casual,
Hmm.
because I'm still like improving on how to like refine my messages when I reach out. And like, of course the ones that do respond, like I think it really shows that like that they saw that I took the time, to write as professionally as I can. Because
Hmm.
you can't just write to them like you know them. That's the thing. Like
Exactly. Like
you
you're a
have
stranger to them.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Like and I think, what really helps is that I'm like when I reach out to new special guests, I give them like a resume, of listing down all the guests that I had previously. So it kind of
Hmm.
builds credibility professionally. And they're like, oh, okay, so she's done this Q&A with like these people listed.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's also really good. That's a really good point.
Hmm. Oh, oh my gosh, you guys are asking such interesting questions. Okay, this next question I see in the chat by another question by Mr. Joel Star. What's your biggest dream that you want to achieve in the Sonic community? Any goals?
To take over the company and rule it as my own. I will be Mr. Sega. No. Um, Honestly, yeah. My biggest dream, like ideally speaking, it will never actually happen, but I have a very specific dream of maybe an Espio and Tangle arc or game or something happens in canon between them where they actually get to interact and be friends for a story. It would be my dream to draw the cover for that at the very least. To contribute
Oh.
to the writing for that would be like a million times a dream come true. Um, Specifically that, but um, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm here in the community just because, like I said, I love to draw art and I have ideas that I want to bring into the real world and show to other people. So I really don't aspire to like work for Sonic one day, but to continue collaborating with awesome people, like, or to get to talk to awesome people in general, like from fans to people up the chain. Like I've had some really cool interactions before with people that I highly admire, and I just hope they continue to grow. And so that's all I ask for.
Mm, nice.
Hmm.
Ooh, okay. This is an interesting one. Man, you guys are asking such great questions here in the chat. Another question by SSJ Sonic God. How does it feel whenever your work is like dubbed? Like from, people like content creators, who dub comics.
It's an interesting feeling. Obviously pure joy and excitement, but also I'm like, that's my art, and it looks terrible. It's like when your parents are like, come look at my daughter's room, and it's like, but it's like, oh no, they get to see who I am and my stuff. And so I wish I would have drawn better, so that your peak voices could compliment be a this art could be a compliment to your peak voices. But either way, like it's just pure joy because I definitely feel like a nobody in the Sonic community. So
Oh.
when when someone sees my art and like has the desire to dub it, I'm just like, ooh. Like this is special. I think that's one of the most special things is getting a comic dub. I'm like, ah.
Oh. Ooh,
hmm
okay. Here is my next question for you. Other than Tangle, which other Sonic characters do you relate to in terms of personality and why?
So this is gonna be an excellent one too because I'm tied. I was just thinking, specifically thinking about this question on the way I went to get milk at Aldi and I came back. There's two characters. My friends tell me a lot that I'm very much like Amy, and
Oh.
sometimes I've gotten a lot like Sonic Boom Amy. Um,
Mm.
Mainly because of the passion and the emotion that I feel. I'm very
Mm.
passionate about a lot of things, and it's mainly because of the things that I've gone through in my life
Mm.
that I hate to see injustice. I hate to see people sad. Um, and especially, like discourse is discourse, and it's unpleasant on Twitter. But
Mm.
my effort at the end of the day is just try to bring a smile on somebody's face, or offer like a virtual hug of sorts. But yeah, my feelings can get very intense. Because I'm just like I said, I'm passionate about things, and I just want things right, like anyone. Um,
Mm.
but at the same time, I feel like my point of view in life and my goals in life are very much like Sonic. Um,
Mm.
I love how far I've come with all the goals in my life. Um, I love my friends. And I'm just happy with me on my own. Like, of course, like there's mental health and stuff, that people deal with. Don't we all? But
Mhm.
I can truly say on the basis I'm very content with life and enjoy the simpler things of life. Um, so um, so yeah, that's why to me I feel like I'm definitely more of a Sonic in
Mhm.
my day to day and my thought process, but to others I'm more of a an Amy. So it's like, oh well. But I love Amy, so that's like, yay, she's like my queen. So I'm like,
Aw.
yeah, because it's like I always say I'm like, man, I hate Sonic, but I'm like in the secret inside, I'm like, oh, I wish I could be more like Sonic. And then, like I said, not that I don't love Amy, I love her to death. But I feel like sometimes when people say they don't say it in a good way, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm gonna take that as a good way.
Ooh, okay. I see another question in the chat, another question by Us. What would you like to see in the future for the Sonic franchise?
Give me 3 seasons of Chaotic Case Files, okay? And we need a 2D animated series. Ideally, yes, it would be fun to see them do like a spin-off of like, not a spin-off, like a unique storyline, kind of like Sonic Prime, but like actually like modern canon and 2D animated. Maybe similar to how they've done like the Sonic X Shadow Generations
Mm.
episodes would be fun, would be nice. But I also think it would be really nice if they did that with like the Metal Virus arc or with a couple of IDW stories. I think
Oh.
I think if they did that, even a movie, a 2D animated movie of the Metal Virus arc, I think Sonic would never be the same. It would just become that popular. I think
Mhm.
people underestimate the power that Metal Virus has on the common audience that knows nothing about Sonic, and I think Sega knows that, and they're cooking something because
Mhm.
they're always cooking, and they're cooking peak. So uh,
Yeah.
I'm just along for the ride. Like after years and years of being part of franchises that just died the next day, like MLP, I don't get me wrong, I love MLP, but not as much as I used to when the season finally ended. But still, so I'm like, I'm feeding. As long as you
Mhm.
feed me, I'll stay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like literally a lot of fans are like, please Sega, like you've shown us like short animations in 2D and it's like please give us one of those art styles for like the next TV show. It's like, yes, please.
Yes, more, please. Excuse me, sir.
Like I kind of feel like they should do that at this point because like all of their like animations, short animations in 2D, they've done them so well. They
Yes.
have the capability to do it. So it's like, Sega, when's the next cartoon show that's in 2D, please?
Hmm. Exactly. I'm sure they've been cooking that up for a while now. So we just have to wait and see. And enjoy. I'm always just encouraging people, just enjoy it. Just take it in and have fun. Don't worry about the little things. Just breathe it in, take it in. It's
Mhm.
great.
Mhm. Absolutely. Oh, this is an interesting question. Okay. Um, it's another question by Sweet Tea Leaf 08. What would SBO and Tangle's avatars be if they got trapped in the digital circus? What?
Oh my goodness. I made like a comic that I wish I had the time and energy to finish. I know it's not exactly what they asked, but the idea was that Kane sets up an adventure where they switch bodies with Sonic characters, and so they have to find each other to be able to be switched back and sent home. And so like
Mm.
Zooble gets stuck in Espio's body, and Gangle gets stuck in Tangle's body, and um yeah, that's just a very specific comic that I have all sketched, but again, no time to actually fulfill it. But I think that would
Mm.
be lovely. Um, let's see. Probably dinosaur um toys. Well, we already have that though. So what else could they be?
Mm.
That's a good question. I wouldn't know off the top of my head, but maybe Tango could be like like the inflatable man. The one that like you put in front of storefronts and they just shake back and forth.
Oh yeah.
Maybe she could be one of those. And then Espio could be like hmm, maybe he could be the dinosaur. Yes. Like a little triceratops.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Oh my gosh. Okay, here is my next question for you, Fern. Which Sonic characters are the hardest to draw and which Sonic characters are the easiest to draw?
Tails. Tails is the hardest Sonic character to draw ever that has ever existed. If anyone can draw Tails, you're basically like um mystical and powerful beyond anyone's understanding because his anatomy is completely different. If you can draw Espio, you can draw like 90% of the Sonic cats because they're all the
Yeah.
same. Literally. So, definitely, I'd say for me, Tails is the hardest and Espio is the easiest because, Espio is just very little detail, except I will say Espio's little gauntlets that he has in his arms and legs, those are really tricky to get right, but
Mm-hmm.
I still struggle with that very much. But Tails, for him, he's just the hardest for me because it's everything. Vector is really hard for me to draw, but like at least I have been able to draw him before. Not well, but I have succeeded. But there have been many times where I've wanted to put Tails in my stuff, but I'm like, nope, I can't because I can't draw him. And Nick has tried to help me many times, and we're working on it. We're working on it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Mr. Joel Star's like, thank you, his head is so hard to get.
Yes, that's his, like I said, his whole anatomy is weird. He has this little kid head with a tiny body, but he also has a little tummy because he's a little chunky boy, a little chubby boy. So I just can't get him right.
Yeah, like because if you try to draw Tails, like his head from like a 3/4, he kind of has a bit of like his head kind of almost looks like a little bit ovalish from the side. Because it's very weird when you draw tails like straight on, you just draw a circle. But when I do it from like three quarters or a side, it's like, yeah, it kind of looks like you're drawing like half an oval or something.
Yes.
To do
Ugh,
Tail's head, it's like it's definitely difficult. Like, um, and like you said, I think it also doesn't help because he has like chest fur that
yes,
you
and
have to
his
draw with his tummy.
yes, and his beard and his ear. His, to me, the hardest part is the ears. I can never get the ears right. They always either look too cat-like
Mm.
or something's off with them. They just don't look right.
Yeah, like the ears especially. Yeah, I agree. Like, because sometimes I make them too big and it looks like rouge ears, you know?
Yes.
Not tail's ears. And I'm like, why? I was like, why is your ears like very similar almost to size of Rouge's ears? It's like, why is it so similar?
Yeah. Another reason also why Rouge is up there with one of the characters that's hard for me to draw because of the ears. It's ears
Mhm.
and snouts. And Tails just has both, unfortunately. Because I also struggle to draw Knuckles.
Oh,
Because of
yeah.
his face, his snout. Boo.
Yeah. Always like surrounding with rouge ears.
Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Like, yeah, like I feel like, it feels like you have to ha like I'm pretty sure when you're drawing tails, at least like with Nick at least like helping you to improve how to draw tails, at least I'm pretty sure you have like a reference at least of tails, right? When you do draw tails.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like Nick has sent me like the best. Like I appreciate them so so much because I've gotten like there are certain references that you can get of like the character's head looking at literally every single angle imaginable and a 3D model. And so it's I need because genuinely I really need that. It's just for me also when I draw, like I have a plan of exactly how I'm gonna go about it. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna draw the circle, then I'm gonna draw the line here and here. Like, it's like step one, two, and three. But with Tails, my brain has just not wrapped around that process of a one, two, three. It's just like scribble until he looks right.
hmm Yeah, yeah, drawing characters with snouts is definitely tough too. Yeah, I struggle with drawing like tails, like especially if it's like three quarter or like the side view. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, because sometimes you have to give it a little bit of like length a bit. And yeah, there's like no way I could get it from like my head. Like I always gotta have like a reference because
Yeah,
there's no way I'm gonna be able to draw it properly.
I feel that. No, for me, it's just like doesn't matter the angle, whatever angle, it's gonna be. I'm gonna be fighting for my life the entire time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Okay, oh yeah, here is my next question for you, Fern. Are there any specific artists you would love to do a collab with in the future?
Ooh, that is a good question because, like I said, I am a very much always have been more than anything an aspiring writer. I love to write, and I have a lot of scripts and ideas for different stuff. Like, there's a really fun story that I have of some Knuckles and Sonic angst, um,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So I would just really, really love to collab with, obviously, I mean, ideally like official writers if they wanted to do a little sketch like a ABT, Adam Bryce Thomas would be a dream come true to be able to collab on a little comic strip of like Lanolin. I have a Lanolin story that I really want to do of her entering like a post depression from the events of the writer's arc. That would be so, so fun to do. It would be hilarious. And also, of course, mutuals. I always want to collab with mutuals. So, um, yeah, that's
Mhm.
also one of the things that I want to do. But and of course, I mean, it would be nice and all, but if Sonic would want to collab one day, and who knows that guy? He's always up to something, you know?
hmm
But yeah.
Nice. Ooh, okay. Here is my next question for you, Fern. Wait. Which Sonic game theme song is your favorite and why?
Hmm. And just because I'm not too familiar with how Sonic music works. So there's like the actual like the music where someone is singing and then there's just like the background music. So is this the one this is in reference to the singing songs, right?
Yes, yes, the singing songs.
Endless Possibilities, the live orchestra version specifically.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. That I love. Well, I will sing it in the car with all my heart, especially when I'm driving down the highway. Radical highway. Oh my God, not again.
Ooh, I'm very curious, why that specific version?
It's just it was when I discovered this song, it was right before I was gonna go to the Sonic Symphony concert the first year that they
hmm
were hosting it. Um and of course I'm a newer fan, so I'm not familiar with all the music. So I'm like, I have to start getting familiar. So I have to start listening to the music. And I just that song embodies, I think, what every Sonic fan artist and just fan feels with the franchise is that in this tough, crazy, hard life where, it's really, really hard to just even survive the day,
hmm
it's hard to find something that really brings you that little bit of joy in life, other than, of course, the important things like your family and friends, all that good stuff, but sometimes you need that the little shot of dopamine, of just pure whimsy and joy. And Sonic is that like that little missing puzzle piece that just adds so much to people's lives in a way that not a lot of people understand. And
hmm
also it's just the song itself is just like a call to like for you to just go out and explore the possibilities of life. Like don't be afraid to hold yourself back. Of like the what ifs or don't live in regret. So I think that all of that is what that song to me embodies. And the instruments are just so powerful in that too. They're awesome.
hmm Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like that was the other thing. It's like if you have wings to fly, fly, little bird, fly. Because like that line where it's like, um, I see the possibilities, and then they're just right there, and I'm gonna go take it. That's what it is. Like you have a lot of people don't feel that they have a lot of opportunities, but you do. It's just right there. Just go out and take it. Take the
hmm
leap.
Nice. Oh, this is an interesting question. Another question by Lombax-Bauer. Are you able to draw the other Sonic IDW characters like Belle?
I drew Belle actually for my little sketch that I mentioned that I did for and I might post it, maybe not, we'll see. Um for the amazing digital circus idea fanfic of them switching bodies. So Pomni got put into Belle's body in that. So she's like the main protagonist of the story. So she was pretty easy to draw for that. I felt I drew her pretty quick. Uh,
Oh, nice.
does she look right? I don't know, but I had a fun time drawing her. So and Layla Land, she's a little bit of a struggle, but I feel pretty confident drawing her. Whisper is hard to draw. That is
Hmm.
alongside with Tails, she is I would definitely draw Whisper more if it weren't for the fact that she's really hard for me to draw. Ugh.
Oh, oh, I'm presuming it's the snout, right?
For her, it's also her eyes. So for her,
Oh.
she has like three layers to her eyelids. It's really weird. Um,
Mm,
you really have to know her anatomy pretty well to get her eyes just right.
hmm
Hmm.
Gotcha.
way.
Oh, this is an interesting question. Okay, so the Legend of Flight 7976 ask how would you I guess they ask how would you rewrite the plot of Sonic Forces and what would you add to make it better or slightly better? Interesting question.
Me adding anything to the best Sonic game of all time? Is that even possible? So yeah, I don't I'm sure there's lots of opinions on there like and it's not because that I think that there's definitely room for improvement. I just can't think off the top of my head what those would be. I would need some time to think about it. I think because I've never really thought about it before because especially Infinite is such a like obscure character in a way. Like he literally only showed up in that game and then just now.
Hmm.
Um yeah, so it's hard to say for me like it was also a pretty short story. That was the other thing. Um
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Jet video is like I've come to save Mario. Maybe that's what it needs. Maybe it just needs comedy, like to make it like keep everything the same, but just like add more comedic stuff to make it the most unserious story ever.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that yeah, because sometimes you do need to balance it a bit. Because obviously Forces was more like, well, they were in a war with Eggman, and they're like, is there really time to for like chill and like let's joke?
Exactly. Yeah, I guess so. Because yeah, people died. A lot of people died in that,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, maybe yeah, like you said, make Infinite more of a real threat. Not be like his whole backstory, literally be just that he got bullied by Shadow. He's a
Mm-hmm.
23-year-old minor. Good stuff.
Ooh, okay. Looks like we have time for two more questions. Here is my second to last question for you, Fern. How do you overcome artist block? Like, what are your like tips for people?
That is a great question. How do you do it? Uh, it's hard. You I said this a couple of times already, but you have to take breaks. Art block is a way for your body to say, your mind and your body is like you have drained yourself. You're you're
Hmm.
you're out of the creative juices and you need to restock. You need to replenish. And it's a mix of regaining inspiration and also regaining energy. So take your
Hmm.
time to take maybe also take a vacation. Go out and see because how else can you get inspiration if you're just looking at like nothing? You know? You feed your brain stuff to be inspired by, live life. A lot of the biggest like recently a comic that I did, I was in an artist block for the longest time with
Oh
for a lot of different
no.
reasons. Yeah, and I'm still kind of in one right now. But one of the things that happened was I went to Barnes and Noble with my family and they had a giant like pile of sock puppets that looked terrifying. And my sister was like terrified, but I was just like kind of making fun of her, like, hey, I swear I'm a good and I was thinking to myself, like, this is something that Tangle would like absolutely love, and Espio would just be like, oh my God. And that immediately, like, as soon as I got home, I drew a 4-page comic and colored it. And
Wow.
it wasn't great quality, but it was done, and it was done in the span of 3 or 4 hours. Like when you're highly motivated like that, you'll get
Mhm.
something done, and especially if you give it time. And that's another thing. You have to work within your circumstances. So a
Yeah.
lot of people get a little jealous or get a little sad because they see other, big Sonic artists like doing so much more, being able to craft so much. but they are individuals a lot of the times who that is their life. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing that they do with their life. And I
Mm-hmm.
am somebody who works full time plus like 60 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I have my family. I don't have kids of my own, but I take care of my family and a whole bunch of other situations that I can't talk about, but I can only draw so much. And you
Mm-hmm.
you just have to be okay with that, and not push yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you with everything you said that like sometimes like when you have an artist block, that is basically your body telling you like, hey, why don't you go out and touch grass?
Touch grass, please.
Touch grass, right? So yeah, and sometimes when like I think when I traveled last year, because that was the most recent time I traveled, um I was inspired to do more art now after taking that like 3.5 week vacation. I was just like, like when you travel and go on vacations, it really changes you. Like it really helps you get back into your creative mind too. And
Hmm.
sometimes we all need to recharge, you know?
Exactly.
Because that's why like I used to be so obsessed, like you, where it's like, oh, like I need to like finish this. It's like, no, it's like gotta take my time.
Yeah.
Especially if my mind is telling me, hey, you need to like take a break from like drawing this, you know? Um,
Yes. And also expand like your media intake
mhm,
because it's been said before by other big Sonic writers, and it's really very true to understand the audience because a lot of times it's something it's a balance to be had, right? Like I always say, you write for your own pleasure and for your own enjoyment. And if it's what you like, it's what you like. But if you also want people to engage in it from a healthy perspective, um,
mhm,
to also enjoy it with you, you also have to know your audience. And not everyone grew up with Sonic like me, or vice
mhm,
versa. Most people only grew up with the what we consider now the Ochi material, the Sonic Bible that a lot of people don't know. And on
mhm,
top of that, there is this big world of life with so many other amazing artists and mediums. Like we have the amazing Digital Circus. We have a lot of awesome work we were just talking about at the beginning of the stream of Up and other stuff,
mhm,
of all different time frames and everything. Just take it all in, even if you might not think it's your cup of tea. I hate Broadway musicals. I don't hate them, but I respect them, but they're not my favorite. But I love La La Land. I love Hamilton. And
mhm.
you just explore, and that also feeds into your inspiration, feeds your ability to connect with people. And yeah, that's all good stuff.
Nice, nice. Here is my final question.
Well,
For you, Bird. Oh, wait, I know I just had it just now.
all good, all good.
What do you think from your perspective, Fern, is the biggest challenge of being an artist?
The biggest challenge of being an artist is being an artist. No, ah, well, it's hard to say because for me personally, I think the biggest challenge is being balanced and being patient. I think sometimes I can just want something done so badly that I sacrifice quality to get it done. Or the other side of it is the lack of motivation. I'm someone who frequently goes through cycles of art block and writer's block, because you also have life to deal with, and life has its challenges and can sap that joy from you.
Mhm.
Um, but the biggest thing I think, unfortunately, too, I've started to notice more and more, sadly, is just with the increasing use of generative AI
Oh,
that
yeah.
more people start to lose appreciation for what
Mhm.
art and artists do and how important it is to humanity
Mhm.
to have art and music and that's made by human beings and not by AI. And
Hmm.
it's very frustrating, and it's upsetting. But that's
Hmm.
also, I guess, a motive. That's another thing too that motivates me. Aside from, when I love ships or when I have this whimsical, funny idea, anger can sometimes also be a great motivator for me. I'm like, I hate AI. I'm gonna draw this peak thing and rub it all over AI's face. Yeah, that'll get you motivated.
Oh, nice, nice. And unfortunately, we will have to end this Q&A, but I want to thank you, Fern, for like taking time to come on to my podcast to do this interview.
Leah, thank you so, so much for your time, your patience, for being so awesome, and for everything. It's an enormous honor to be here. So just thank you so much. You're the coolest.
Oh, oh, I appreciate it. And and of course I am going to announce the upcoming live streams on this Saturday, May 9th at 2 p.m. PT, 5 p.m. ET is the next episode of the Lucky Charm podcast, episode 17, where I am joined by G, aka the Cartoon Hotspot, as we will be ranking all of the season one Akumatai's villains and Miraculous in a tier list. If you this is like my most like my only non-Sonic podcast on my YouTube channel for those who are new. And then next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, May 12th at 5 p.m. PT, 8 p.m. ET, is the long-awaited return of Sonic Lore with Radar episode 10. And this podcast is with my very good buddy Radar, and he will be going over the Tales Tube lore. So if you guys know the Tales Tube web series that Sega has been releasing on the Sonic official channels, Radar is there to answer your questions if you have any questions from what Tales has discussed in any of the episodes. And then to celebrate the next golden episode of Got a Spotlight with LSR. Next episode is episode 60, and it's a Q&A with the current voice actress of Princess Daisy, Giselle Fernandez, and it is to celebrate the third anniversary of my podcast and for reaching the 60th episode in my podcast. So if you guys want to ask Giselle any of your questions, here is your chance to ask her.
Woo.
And of course, before I'm going to end with my usual outro. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on that bell notifications for upcoming live streams and video content. And
Do
I
it.
will and I will see you all in the next live stream this Saturday. Bye, everyone.